Hi folks, it's me again, Kyle, and today I wanted to bring you 3 of the airplanes that I've done from the website located in England called Micro Aces. The guy that owns the place, his name is John. Give him a visit if you're into radio controlled airplanes. I think you'll like them. I forget what scale these are, 1/24th or something like that. This yellow and black one here is a Fokker DR1 that was in the movie The Great Waldo Pepper with Robert Redford, and it was a very flashy paint job that they did on that airplane. And like I said, it's a kit from Micro Aces. Radio control, electric. Uses little 1 or 2 cell li-poly batteries. Now, one of the neat features about some of his radio controlled airplane kits is that if I spin the prop, you can see that the little motor turns with the prop, which is exactly what the Lerone engine, which was a radial engine, did back in World War I. Back here in the back on the stabilizer, or the elevator, the other part, the yellow and black, that's a stabilizer, you have the German words "Du Doch nicht." And basically, loosely translated, picture you're in combat and you see that airplane down below me, or below you, and you see that fancy paint job and what have you, and you see those words and you know what those words mean, perchance, or you ask somebody, if you live long enough back at the air base, what does "Du Doch nicht" mean? And what it basically says, loosely translated, is, "Do you know me yet?" They had a sense of humor even back in World War I. The next airplane from Micro Aces, I think the pilot's name was de Glau or something like that. He was the leader of his squadron, and it's a black fuselage with a white tail. And he had that white stag on the side of his aircraft. It's got the lozenge coloring on the wing, which is exactly how it was back in World War I. It's got machine guns going into the cockpit there. And it's got lozenging on the bottom of the wing, and it's even got the seams where they sewed up the silk and doped covering that covered the fuselages back then. Yeah, that's right. Silk does not stop a bullet real well, in case you didn't know that. It's basically like paper. The other airplane, which is a really interesting World War I German twin-seater, it had an observation guy with a machine gun back there in the back with this turret, and of course it had the pilot, which sat way up front. Okay, it's even got a windscreen on it. But look at the detailing on the engine. Isn't that awesome? Now, these are made out of Depron, and he, for some kind of method, he prints all these markings, all these details onto a plain sheet of white Depron, and the instructions are really clear. They're excellent. The detailing is excellent. I haven't test flown any of these airplanes yet, But I'm telling you right now that if you're into World War I, German, British, Italian, French, I don't think he has one of an American yet, airplanes, give him a look on his website. He sells, you know, tools, glue, all kinds of supplies. He sells the motors and the radio equipment to install in these little puppies, where you can fly them in some of the smallest places. You know, if your backyard's big enough, I would go with no less than about a half an acre. You can get in trouble pretty quick on these things. And yeah, this is my stovetop review. Do not fear, everything's turned off. But it was one of the only uncluttered places that I have currently in my house. Because guess what? I'm the maid. And yes, I smoke pipes. I just got that one in today. That's one of my cap and ball pistols. I installed the little heart on the grip. And that is a jar of what they call hardtack. It's something that they made back in the days when you traveled. They're basically flour and water and salt, but you poke those little holes off in there and you cook them until all the moisture has been drawn out. And I'm telling you, people, if you have weak teeth, do not attempt to bite into one of those, because you're going to lose your teeth. They are hard as a rock. I'll give you an example. Let me spin this puppy around. Grab one of them out of there. Hardtack. Now watch this. Oh, hey, it broke. There it is. Hardtack. That's what it looks like on the inside. But basically what guys would do before the Civil War, during the Civil War, and even after the Civil War, people were traveling out west and whatnot, and they had hardtack made out of flour. And they made good rations. They made good, you know, traveling food. This stuff, when you seal it up and whatnot, it'll last forever. As long as you keep the moisture out of it and what have you, it'll last forever. So what they used to do, hey, how did I go from airplanes to hardtack? How'd that happen? Well, I've been doing a lot of cooking lately. And I'm making pemmican, which was also a long storage food that was used by many people back in the day. And I made this hardtack, and I'm currently making beef jerky over there in my dehydrator. There's some of my gun belts hanging up here. Anyway, we're just going everywhere. We're going everywhere with this video. Anyway, yeah, back to the airplanes. That's where we want to go. Okay. Anyway, give Micro Aces a shout out. View his web page. It's an excellent web page. Break a tooth on some hardtack. Go out and shoot some pistols. And then after that, go smoke your pipe and call it a day. How about that? I'll talk to you later. Bye, folks.